quick before. So before we jump into an introduction of all of us, just quickly about the tools we're going to use. Obviously, we're going to use Zoom. And I said already in the beginning, it would be cool if everyone is who has a camera and is able to share a camera image. Would be super nice to see some faces. And also, if you could share your name and the city and the university. So you just hover over your image or your name and click on the 3 dots in the upper right corner, and there is the option to rename yourself. So it would be cool if all of you could just put in your names.
I don't have the 3 points.
You don't have it?
For me, I had to open the participant screen and then hover over my own name and then
it's over your own name. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody find it? Otherwise, we can share the screen and show where it is.
Yeah, looking good. Cool. The chat in Zoom. I mean, we also have the chat option. Okay, there's already something going on. Haven't checked that. So yeah, the chat is mainly, of course, you can just talk to everyone, talk to one specific person, but we're going to use it mainly for sharing our links during the session, because we're going to use another tool for side conversations. We're going to introduce you to that in a bit. And then also we use Miro, and I saw that all of you, I think almost everyone has been already on our Miro board and posted some cool information about him or herself. Super nice. Just mainly about our board, it's showing our main agenda points. So you have a little orientation what's going on today. But we're going to dive in first of all in point 1, the must-haves for online collaboration, and use that as a starter for introducing ourselves. So just quickly about myself. My name is Lisa Marleen. I'm in my first semester of the master program at KIST. And since it's my first semester, it's really a pity because I only experienced the whole KIST experience from an online standpoint. So yeah, I only know it online, really crazy, but also interesting from a design perspective, I would say, to think about new solutions and how we could continue with online collaboration in the future. I think one of my most important items is my fridge, because I really like that I can always go there, grab a snack. But on the other hand, I don't move so much because it's really comfy on my sofa, but I guess everyone knows it. Shengling, what about you? Maybe you can continue.
Yeah, first I have to excuse myself because there's construction going on. And yeah, I'm originally from Shanghai. I'm currently doing my master's in Taipei, and now I'm exchanging here at KIST in Cologne. And yeah, my favorite item for me in this period would be a pillow, because in the room I'm currently rent, I don't have a proper setting to sit. So I have to sit on the floor with my pillow, otherwise my back hurts. Yeah. Xion Ito, what about you?
Hi, I'm Xion. I'm on second semester in KIST as an exchange student from Japan. And my favorite item is English dictionary, because I actually taking advantage of this situation, We always using screen, so I sometimes secretly search what I didn't know. So that's very good for my improvement of English as well. Thank you.
I will go next. So my name is Tianka. I'm originally from Indonesia, but I'm on my second semester here in KIST, and I live in Aachen. Also, my favorite item, I would say, is my egg plushie. Because he's really, really soft, and he gives me comfort, and I can just push my face in him anytime I want. It's great. I'll say Louisa, you go next.
Hi, my name is Luisa. I'm also from KIST. I'm currently in my second semester in the bachelor's program. And my favorite item is my water bottle, because when you have a day full of Zoom meetings and you have to sit in front of the screen all the time, you easily forget to drink and stay hydrated. So that's very important, and I always have it nearby. Yeah, and what about you, Jasmine?
Right. I'm Jasmine. I'm currently in my fourth semester at KIST. And as you can see on the pictures, I like to read and spend hours drawing on my Quintic whilst consuming way too much Umble Crumble with plenty of custard, and I'll be co-hosting our meeting today. Now, we were really happy seeing that you guys have posted some things and some really interesting items. So let's go through them. Where is it? William, I can see that you still have that bunny suit.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about it? I'm pretty sure it's going to be an interesting story.
Yeah, I like to wear a onesie while I work. It's really nice, comfortable. I couldn't find the one I have specifically. It's a frozen one with Olaf all over it, like snowflakes and stuff. So, you know, I had to make do with a bunny.
Oh, pretty sure it's comfortable.
Yeah, very, very comfy.
All right. So now, William, choose somebody else where you see an item that you find interesting, and then we would like to continue like that so that we have everybody introducing themselves just quickly.
So find an item that I find interesting and then ask about it. Cool. Owen from Cairns is here. Oops, sorry. Cool. I wanted to ask, you sit on your chair while you work, dude?
Yeah, well, I actually find myself to be way more productive in this position. But like when I have meetings and stuff, especially when you have a camera, I can't really sit like this because it would be too strange for many people. But I always sit like this. I don't know why, but I feel so comfortable like this. And yeah, I don't know why.
I think since we are all students, you can sit like that.
Okay. Yeah, and otherwise I love coffee while I have meetings, and I always keep a notebook with me. Those are like basically my three essentials. So maybe Sasha can talk about him as well.
Yes, so hello, I'm Sasha. So I'm living in Antibes next to Nice, and I've just finished my second year at the SDS. And so here you have the stuff that I need. So obviously some human elements, my helmet, and a fan because currently it's about 30 degrees inside my room. So I just want to die. And yeah, that's it. Maybe Bertie could continue.
Yes, sorry, my camera is my internet is so long with my camera. Sorry. My name is Bertie, and it's my second year and my first year in the SDS. I live in Annecy, but in the school I live in Nice, and this is a different item. It's I like drawing, and my shoulder is broken now, and I have I don't know in English, but it's I tell in French, but in English I don't know.
The magnifier?
Yes, I see.
What are you using it for?
I'm trying to my best arm. It's the
Okay, sorry, not the magnifier. Okay.
yes. And Yusra?
Hey everyone, do you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm Yushra, I'm from Morocco. It's been 3 years that I'm in Nice now, and I'm studying in VSDS in Nice. I live in Nice. For the first item, I just came back from the Gorges du Verdon near Tunis in 2 hours, and it was so funny. Really enjoyed because I'm a mountain person and natural, I don't know, like to experiment different things. And that's why for the second item, I talked about, I put an image of manipulating things with my hands. So I like to gardening and doing different experience. And also for the item 3, I question a lot myself, and yeah, I like to settle down everything and to say, okay, now what I want to do, and just let go everything and living the life. Yeah, thank you. I think it's enough. Everyone pass for VSDS. I don't know.
Maybe you can just choose someone else who's like just any item
Okay.
you find super interesting. Just ask him.
Okay. Okay. Alors. Candice? Is Candice here?
Yep.
No? Yeah?
That's me.
Talk about you.
Okay. My name's Candice. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa, and I'm currently studying at GDC, which is Green Site Design Center. My favorite item would be my teacup. I love tea. So I think whenever I have to do something, I need tea for calmness and just making sure it's okay. The second item would be my sketchbook and notebook. I can't go anywhere without that, online or not online. And then a computer and stuff so I can record things. I think that's basically it. Yeah. I will choose Sean. You can go.
Ooh. Whoops. So I'm doing honors also at GDC in the same class as Candace and William and Savannah and Sarah. My favorite item would probably be my laptop, because even if I'm not working on it, I'm playing games on it or pretty much doing everything on it. There's pretty much nothing else. Yeah. Savannah, have you gone? Savannah here?
We don't hear you, I think.
Or Sarah?
Me? Did you say my name? Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, where's this mute button? It's terrible. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm Sarah, also from Johannesburg, South Africa. And I don't know, talking about the things that my essentials that I put on the board. I put my cat, because she doesn't leave me alone, so I don't have a choice. And I put my notebook, which is always here. Like, I've probably used so many of these that I always run out. And my onesie. That picture is like really bland one, but I actually have like an Avengers onesie, which is like really cool and comfortable because it's freezing. If you guys haven't noticed, I think I'm sitting on 3 blankets. It's actually so cold. Yeah.
Is it winter at your place right now? Right?
Yeah.
Winter and stuff. Okay.
I've literally got a heater behind me, like 2 jerseys, blankets, and I'm sitting on another blanket.
Wow.
And yeah, I even have gloves here just in case my fingers got really cold typing. I could actually be quite bad. But yeah, who Savannah, is her speaker not working?
I think she says that her browser is not allowing the permissions to use audio.
Oh, okay. Who did we not say anything to? Is Fernanda? Do we have Fernanda here?
Yes, that's me. Hi.
Hi.
Well, my English is so good. So I'm from Chile. I'm in 4th year. I study at Pontificia Universidad Católica. And well, it's winter here too, so I understand you. It's so cold, it's so freezing. I put my wool socks and the heater and ginger lemon tea because I drink that every morning. And well, I really enjoy trekking, but now since COVID started, that has been impossible. So that's it, I guess. I'm so happy to be here. My professor told us to join the meeting, but this is our first one. So I don't know what you have been doing before.
You mean meetings before? Because this one is the first meeting, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We were texting you, I think, weeks ago because we were planning this meeting, but actually, yeah, we were only having this one meeting until now. But maybe we're gonna have more in the future. Let's see.
Oh, that's cool. I thought there were some meetings before.
No, not really international meetings like with all of us. Only like the KISS students, for example.
Well, that's cool.
So nice to see all of you.
Now I have to name someone else to introduce themselves. Well, I don't know who hasn't because my Wi-Fi wasn't connecting. So I think anyone who has not introduced his or herself.
I think Ruiki, sorry if I pronounce your name not really properly.
My name is Fernanda.
No, sorry. I think Ruiki from London, she hasn't introduced herself. She's really on the top. I think we haven't talked to her yet.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Ricky. I'm studying in Central St. Martin's in London, and we started online courses. I don't know if it's courses. I think we started online tutorials since March this year, and my favorite item in the online courses, I think it's my teacup. Yeah, because sometimes I think the tutor talks much more than I do, so I can drink coffee or tea during this time. I think it's quite interesting. Yeah, that's all.
Maybe we could continue with, I'm sorry if I'm going to pronounce this wrong now, but Ulisse?
Yep.
Peanut butter.
Yes. So I'm I'm Ulyss. I am from NC in Paris. And yeah, my must-have is peanut butter. I eat it every day, most of the day. Goes with everything: crackers, honey, jam. Goes, you can put it everywhere. So it's a nice snack to have during video conferences. And yeah, that's about it for me. Who did we not talk to yet? Ines, also from Central St. Martin's. I don't know if we heard you yet.
Yes. No, yeah. Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Ines. I'm French, but I'm studying in Central St. Martin's, second year of a master. And I'd say my favorite item since the pandemic started is definitely my graphic tablet, because I don't know if, Can you hear me well? My connection is terrible, I think.
No, we hear you well.
Hello?
Hello.
We can hear
Yes.
you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. So yes, because we are handing our final project right now, actually. So we are working so much. So that's my favorite item, and also maybe my cereal pack because I love to eat when I'm working. So yes, that's it. And I'm gonna hand the mic to Ha. Are you here?
Oh, you're still mute. We cannot hear you.
Oh yeah, you hear me now? Hi everyone, I'm Ha. So I'm from Vietnam, but I'm also currently studying the Masters of Industrial Design with Ines, and I'm graduating this year. We are not the best year to graduate. So my favorite item at the moment would be this plant here that I have by the window, because it's good to have some nature around in the house. And maybe the other one would be my llama cup, having hot chocolate, really good when it's kind of cold. And I guess I'm gonna pass it to somebody who hasn't talked. Louisa, did you talk?
Yes, I already introduced myself, but I think does anybody else wants to introduce themselves who is not there already?
Yeah, so we can continue to our next session. So speaking of the must-haves, now we're having a poll on Slido. And let's find out what are the most often used collab tools during our online collaboration. And also, in order for your voice to be heard during this event, we create this Slido page where you can have side conversations with all of us in real time. And also you can upvote the questions you think that are most important for us to talk about. So yeah, in this state of pandemic, I'm sure many universities have decided to shut down their campus and switch to the mode of remote teaching. And for me here in Cologne, we didn't go through a total lockdown, and which is lucky for us. And in the campus, they announced on the 3rd of April that it's going to be a full online semester, which means we can't have classroom meetings anymore. We don't have access to the design studios, but we still have equipment lab, which is open, but you have to make an appointment to enter the building. And I'm originally a product designer, but I didn't choose any courses on product design since it's very hard to not use the studio to make models and communicate with professors. Yeah, and I'm also curious about the situations in other universities. For example, Ulysse, how is the situation in Paris?
Well, we did have a complete lockdown for most of the semester. So what was complicated is our school is very, I mean, that depends. I think it's going to be a bit different for every school, but we're very focused on making very quickly, prototyping. You know, we're not very far from very numerical design or design on the computer. Like we really like to go in and you know, just try things out really quickly with wood in the workshops. And that was definitely very complicated to adapt to. So yeah, most of us ended up stockpiling a bunch of trash that we could reuse to make models, you know, and cut in those things, you know, paper boxes, things like that. But yeah, you know, it was complicated also to not have the whole dynamic of a school with, you know, where you see the other people working on the same project and looking at it in a different way than you do, and you get inspired from that. That was very kind of hard to adapt to be kind of in a separate bubble. So we found a few ways to try to find that again. And next semester it's going to be for us, we're going to alternate, so everyone is not going to be able to be in the school at the same time, but it's going to be in small groups, so we'll see how that goes. I guess I need to pick someone to see how they're doing. How's it going in Johannesburg, William?
It's going all right. Like, we've had a really hectic lockdown. I haven't left my house in 3 months since March.
Still not?
Yeah, not at all. Like, everything closed down. We've
Wow.
opened up a little bit more recently, so we can at least we can exercise all times of the day. You can go for a jog, walk your dog. Yeah, and businesses opened up a lot as well. Like, our economy took a massive hit though, because our lockdown is sort of split into levels. So during the initial stages when they first found COVID, no businesses were allowed to operate.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's a bit rough out here, but it's going okay. It's getting better. And from a university perspective, we're multimedia designers. We're digital mostly. Work with animation, making websites and stuff. So we didn't really have any physical tools that we no longer have access to. The transition was relatively smooth for us.
I think the biggest thing was like not seeing each other on a daily basis and like talking about our projects and trying to like motivate each other to do more. I know I don't work nearly as hard as the other people, and that that really shows a lot more when you see that person like in front of you and you ask them how far they've gotten. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I guess sometimes it's really difficult, I feel, because you always have to plan a meeting, right? And you cannot, for example, just randomly pass by someone and see something and give them, I don't know, input, or they giving you input. So that's really hard, I guess, or I think it's really hard for me to have not this randomness anymore. It's really hard.
We had some teachers who would call us at random moments. So for example, on a Sunday at 9 p.m. or, you know, at any moment. And that was an element of randomness that I could have, I mean, it was nice, but then there's like the limit in between personal life and time off and work that really disappears, because all of a sudden people think, well, you're at home doing nothing anyway, so we can just call and work anytime. So it's kind of
Yeah, true. Yeah. We also experienced that everyone is expecting you to be ready at all times, right? Because they expect you to do nothing at home. Weird. Yeah. How is it in Santiago? Do you have a lockdown?
Yes, we have a lockdown, and we are in online classes, so everything is in Zoom. And the most difficult thing to me has been to spend like 16 or 18 hours a day in front of the computer, because everything is online, really. And I also work, so now I have to work with the computer. So I'm doing my, I don't know how to say it in English, the final practice, can it be? Because it's like when you work, but it's still from university. So that's it. And next semester it's going to be online too.
Oh, okay, they decided already? There's no chance that you can...
I'm not sure, but last thing I heard was that it was going to be online. So that's it.
What about in Shanghai? Do you have people from Shanghai? Sunny, would you like to share?
Yeah, okay, but I'm actually not a student anymore. So I just, based on the information I know, like the graduates are okay to back to university, but the normal students, they still like remote study. Yeah. And I went back to Tongji University, like we are like classmates, right, Jenny? Like the campus, like it's really how to say, empty, and it feels like not like a university. It's like a lost city. So feel a little bit sad for the students that graduating this year. They're not have a warm welcome or a warm home. It's a little bit sad. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the same thing. I went to my school to get some things because I have like a kind of I need to present like my whole courses until now. And you walk into the school and it's like you're walking in Pompeii. Everything is exactly how it was the moment you left, and nothing has moved in 3 months, and the plants are all dead, and it's a weird, I know, sad atmosphere.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be really hard for like industrial design students. They left their workshop, and I kind of like wondering how you guys, like especially industrial design students, how can you accomplish your work? Like you all like doing 3D modeling, or you do projects at home, make prototypes at home. Like how can you try to study?
Actually, there was something quite interesting, like on my behalf, because when I was in lockdown, it was really hard, like to do all the field work and maquettes. You know, this was, I think, the real problem when we had the projects and we were in lockdown. But on another half, I found myself to be like a lot more productive in terms of 3D renderings and everything that had to do with the computer. Like I did my tasks so much faster because it was kind of like in a factory. It was me and my computer, and I had nothing else to do. So in a way, I was like way more productive. But when it came into like the field work, it was like you couldn't do it. I actually had a project working with dogs, and I don't have a dog at home, and I still had to do the project with the dogs. And I was like, man, how am I supposed to do this? So it was really hard, but like in the terms of the tools you use on the computer, I think it was like a real level up for me because I had the time and the interest to do it. But yeah, there's the problem of prototyping and fieldwork. So yeah, it was quite interesting.
Yeah. And just to add up on that, as an industrial designer and graduating this year, it's been really challenging actually to be able to provide models because, you know, like the design process, you go through a lot of experiences, and to like build a real project, a final year project, and not be able to really, produce models and just try out what you want to do was really challenging. But I feel like we got quite lucky in our school because we have right now an online show for our degree show, but next year we're gonna have a physical one, and we're gonna have like 4 months to be able to produce models again and have access to workshops again. So I feel like in this period we still have some opportunities left, but yeah, it's been quite challenging.
Yeah, I guess that really depends on the size of the school, because for us, they had to keep going because we're kind of a small school. So like the people just need to get out because there's new people coming in. And so for a lot of people, their final deliverables are not as good as they would have liked. And I think it's going to be a real, very strange, how do you introduce new students to the design work? Working from a distance when, you know, there's a lot of criticism of designers being too like remote from how people actually live, and, you know, make concepts and everything that are not very tied to the real society and how people really live. And now all of a sudden we have even less way to get into contact with people. And so how do you teach about that from a distance is going to be challenging.
Yeah, I also have a project this semester that is supposed to investigate and do interviews with people on the street, but then we can't do it because in this situation like this, people are just too afraid to talk to strangers, right? So we just have to observe and speculate from their faces and emotions. What about people from London? Ha, would you like to introduce? Ha? I think you're muted.
Yeah, so sorry. I was saying that I think you guys touched down on the main points already. So actually, I was finishing my industrial design project this year, and the lockdown started in March. And my project was for social innovation, public design. So I was supposed to work in Brighton at the beach. So that was really tough to manage prototyping also and doing field research. So I just think that I was thinking maybe there could be ways to interview people online as well, like doing Zoom meetings like this, and just kind of try to contact stakeholders and get the informations that you need instead of just thinking by yourself. I thought that was helpful for me.
Yeah, I feel like we have to reinvent our ways of producing things. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's difficult to practice community engagement into the design process, I think. I think we also have people from Chile. Vincent? Vincent, could you hear us? Maybe not.
But Fernanda is also from Chile. She was sharing that maybe.
Yeah.
But actually you made also a really good point, which is going together with the one from Owen, because I think you said something about a factory. And I also feel like very much like a worker in a factory sometimes, because yeah, with a work and studying all together, like I'm switching from in 5 minutes from studying to work, you know, and I'm spending all my day on my desk, on my computer, and just producing and producing. And I really feel, yeah, like a worker in a factory. It's really weird. There's not so much, and every day is the same. And yeah, I think it also plays together with not really having boundaries. Everything is getting blurry. Everyone is expecting you to be ready for a meeting at any time of the day, at work and at like at university. And also I feel like they are not really planning ahead as much anymore. Like you cannot really, I don't know how to say, it's not really such or not so organized anymore, you know, like because everyone thinks, yeah, we can just do it short notice, it's fine. So that's really a big point to keeping everything apart, and like also, yeah, going out and having private life.
It's true, but yeah, also something you can't replace when you're working from home is like the human contact. Like I remember in France, I think we were in lockdown for like maybe 2.5 months or something, like 2 months with him when it was like really in the like the first weeks you're like, okay, it's fine, I'm at home. You like you center yourself back with yourself, you feel good. And then when a few months go by, you're just like, when am I going to see another person? Because when you're at school, it's fun. I don't know who said that you can discuss about your projects. I think it was Sean. Yeah, it was Sean. Yeah, when you can just like discuss about your projects, like share your mindset. This is something I've missed, and you can't replace this even with like all the tools we have to like what we're doing right now. We can speak, but you can't match with the human contact, I think. And this is what I think was the hardest to I can't find the words.
To deal with?
Yeah, to deal with, because yeah, I think human contact is really important, especially as designers.
I agree, because when just like this right now, I feel a bit detached from you guys, and when I'm doing my work just from my laptop, I feel a bit more lazy, honestly, because it's like I don't see the improvement physically. It's all just on the screen, so it sucks. But yeah, I get what you mean.
But also, if you feel lazy, you can just switch off your camera, right? It's also nice to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretend you've got connection problems and just leave.
That's a good one, actually. Well, sorry guys, my internet is so bad today. I don't know what's going on. No, but yeah, also sad on the other hand, of course, because you can just, I don't know, not participate if you don't want to. I don't know.
You also can't make an excuse. Oh, I forgot my project at home. Like, oh wait, I'm at home.
Yeah, true.
But in a sense, it was easier to like multitask. Like I remember I had some courses, like there's always this course like you don't really want to listen. And so since you're at home, you can just like put your camera off and just work on more interesting projects. This was also really nice because yeah.
Yeah, totally. I also did that. It's true. Like, for example, when presentations are going on, right, and you don't really have to participate in that moment, you can put it on the side and just have it on another screen open, listen. I don't know. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it goes together again with this kind of factory, right? You're doing everything at the same time. Your efficiency is increasing and increasing. It's like weird also. I mean, cool when you can accomplish a lot of things, but also crazy when you think about it. Yeah. And also this personal contact, I know that there was one question on Slido, someone added that, which was also interesting because we experience the other people so differently right now because we usually see the whole person, right? And you can, I don't know, everyone's judging by the growth or the size or the height of the person. But now we have different kind of hints or information like the background, like, I don't know, the bed, like some graffiti. Sorry, I'm just pointing out some things I can see right now. But yeah, it's interesting to also see that side you usually don't experience on the first sight. I don't know what you guys think. Is that already too much? Like too private sometimes? Because I know that also professors are, for example, pointing out images I have hanging on my wall and stuff like that and asking me things. And like it's, yeah, also could be too much already, yeah, right? And too much privacy, but also interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, sometimes it feels like you're being a bit judged about the background you're sitting in front of because I found myself talking with some guys I know. We talked about the background of one person in a Zoom meeting and how messy the room looked. And I feel like maybe other people are also judging a bit about your background. So I always try to sit in front of just a boring white wall, even though it's not like something amazing. But I don't know if I wouldn't let everybody, just any stranger in my home. So it sometimes feels like a bit weird to have everybody seeing your flat or your home.
Yeah, it's true. I also developed a wonderful habit to make my bed in every morning so that I can enter the Zoom with nice background.
Yeah,
So
especially when you live with the. Oh, sorry.
You go ahead.
Especially... No, I was just saying, especially if you if you live with other people, like in a flat chair, and you have like your friends walking behind you, and it's not really professional.
And shouting around when you're trying to present something. Yeah, I know it's like jumping in the pool when you're talking.
For me, the worst was the cat wanting to enter in the room. So, and going onto the desk. So yeah, this was the worst thing for me.
I think it's great.
No, it's not great. Not in final presentation. It's not great.
Okay, yeah, that's a different story.
I would just say, like, it can be positive, you can wear whatever you want below your top, which is pretty convenient when you're lazy. And actually I did that for my final presentation because I was late, and it worked, so that's interesting.
Yeah, but it's dangerous because and it wasn't in this context, but I was on an internship, and the guy who manages the studio is always abroad, like in a small village where he lives, and he always has a shirt on. Then one day he like stood up to reach for something, and he was in his underwear, and you have this moment where you don't know if he really noticed or not, but everybody else in the conversation just stops talking, and you know, it can be dangerous. Be careful with that.
Yeah, let's not forget it.
For the lockdown, I went back to my family's place, and I had my license project, you know, and I was really trying to keep a straight face, you know, like to be very serious. And at some point in the middle of the presentation, I think someone from my family went and flushed the toilets, you know, just in the most casual way, you know. And it got so embarrassing at the end of the presentation because there was some questions about it and stuff.
But did you guys have any chance to give your feedbacks to your university during this period? Because in KIST we have several meetings, pretty casual, with the professors and all the student organizations to check the situation if the students are adapting fine. Do you have anything like this?
We had a few, but you know, it's always a problem where they ask, "Is everything okay?" And then you list, "Okay, well, this is not okay. This doesn't work. This doesn't work." And it's like, "Okay, can't do anything." And so it's a bit, you know, it's like, okay, well, they listen, but nobody can do anything about it. So I don't know. It's not always very useful.
For in London, we are quite lucky. I feel like we like the student voice is always really important, and we had a lot of meetings with our teachers, but also with the dean. As a rep of my class, I had the opportunity to raise a lot of concerns, and actually some of them were heard. But obviously, a lot of students were complaining to get a refund for the study, the price of the study, because we cannot have access to the workshops. So yeah, but this was a bit harder to be heard on that matter.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
I think here.
Yeah, I guess they. Yeah, I guess they can only help on some level. Like Ines was saying about refund, for instance, as industrial design students, when we don't have the workshops, it's just very hard to prototype and work. Myself, I was trying to build this plastic injection machine at home because I had to finish my project anyways, and actually burned my wooden floor, which is like, and now I have to lose my deposit for it, but the school can't do anything about it, like things like that, you know.
But they cover the cost for you?
No, they wouldn't, because myself, I was trying to, and actually burned my wooden floor, anything about it, like things like that, you know. In my rent, it doesn't really have anything to do with the uni. No, like, I mean, things like that, they can't really refund you or help you with in terms.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But yeah,
inequalities like that.
to prototype. Sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that I don't recommend to prototype some like electronics at home.
But yeah, there's a lot of inequalities like that that become a lot more apparent. Because, for example, in my school, there's a lot of people who live in more rural places, went back to their parents, and then you have some people who are in a small flat and can't prototype anything. Some other people who have workshops, you know, like a neighbor who has a workshop, they have space, and so they can prototype. And then you have the school who makes like order materials from certain shops from the school, like to prototype. Then it was only for people who lived in cities and who were close to like a select number of very big stores. And so you have all these different things that where school is supposed to put everyone on the same level playing field, especially like for public schools. All of a sudden, all that doesn't work anymore, and it's something to think about.
Yeah, it's true. Inequalities are really highlighted in this kind of moments, And we had a chat about that with teachers in our school, and they were really careful about that, especially judging our projects, because obviously, as you were saying, we're not all in the same place. So
yeah, even for us, we had a big discussions with the administration of the school about how do we recruit new students, because we have this whole usually thing where you do like the selection process is you go for a whole day at the school. There's a certain number of challenges where you have to meet the people and, you know, collaboration, works like that, and you can't do it anymore. And so it's, you know, you don't want to only accept the students who were able to make a new portfolio in this specific way that was very good for the web. How do you find the profiles, the interesting students that, you know, could not present their work in a good way? Like how can you communicate your interests through the web? It's complicated.
Yeah, let's take a break for 10 minutes and we can move on to the next session for caffeine, nicotine, fresh air, as you like.
All right.
And we will put you guys in breakout rooms, in smaller breakout rooms. All right. All right.
Okay, see ya.
Nice.
Well,
Oh, hi, Tianka.
Is it wherever I go, it's recorded?
Yeah, it just said this meeting is going to be recorded. I don't know why it said that again.
I'm just gonna mute myself quickly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pause the recording, I think.
Hi.
There it is.
But this time I didn't give my confirmation, right? I mean, there was nothing asking me. Weird.
Oh, you guys had to confirm?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
Thank you
since
for
we gave
confirming.
our consent once, they think it's like full consent, you know?
Well, thank you for confirming.
Wow, dangerous. Tianka, what you gonna do?
The power. No, I'm kidding. I can't do anything.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you first.
I was going to say, maybe it could be interesting if we all leave like our Instagrams or Facebook at the end.
I was thinking of that as well.
Really? I think like maybe if we have like projects or just even or looking forward to go into another country or something, it could be like very interesting to keep contact, you know?
Yeah. You can leave your information on
Good
sticky
idea.
notes in the Miro board.
Yeah.
Like what you guys did in your project, right?
Wait, what is it?
SDS project. I saw your project. That was so cool. It's like a big Miro board.
Yeah, it was huge. There was so much information. Like at the end, we were like struggling in the navigating because there was too much information, and like it would just like pop up every 2 minutes. Like horrible.
Which project, Owen?
I'm sorry.
Which one? Which project?
The major project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, celui pour la licence.
Okay, oui, on l'a pas vu. Okay, we didn't see it.
And what did you do at in this project? I mean, did you work all on the same? Because
well, actually, it was interesting because we had a jury of 3 designers, which were teachers from our school, and basically they gave us like themes. Like each student had a theme. Sometimes 2 students had the same theme, but personally, I had pets. I had the theme of pets, and the hard thing about it was that we had to do a human-centered design. So there was kind of a paradox, like to work in the theme of pets, but for human application. And in the end, I worked on the fear of dogs, like the human fear of dogs. So it was interesting.
And all students from your university, or was it like open?
No, it was just for my year.
Okay.
It was kind of like the project to go into the master's degree, you know, like the validation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was yeah, quite interesting since we were working from home. Like we had the first part we could work like normally at school and stuff, and then we had the COVID, and then we got into some weird stuff.
Okay, but at least you knew each other before that. That's nice.
Yeah. Thank God I could actually, I did my analysis when there was like no restrictions. But then we went into ideation and we went to our homes. And I still had to go back on the field because I was kind of missing some information. And in terms of prototyping, I needed the dog, you know. And so what I did, it was like when we had the sports break, you know, the day, I went to owners and asked them if I could like kind of test on their dogs, you know, and it was like so strange.
That's good because walking your dog was one of the reasons why you were allowed to go out. So the only people outside were people with dogs.
So you had these restrictions, really? So there were
We had to go out with a paper every time we went out, just that said, okay, we're going out to walk our pets, go do groceries, or like for sports, like you could go running for an hour. And like where I was, we were arrested every time we went out. They asked to see our paper, and it wasn't something that you could have on your phone at first. You had to like print the paper, and if you didn't have a printer, you had to write by hand the whole text.
Yeah.
So it was, you know,
it was unreal.
French bureaucracy can be a bit strange.
Wow, that sounds like this work you have to do at school when you did something bad, right? If you have to write whole text by hand, I don't know.
Yeah,
wow, crazy. We didn't have these restrictions here. So yeah, it's really, I heard from people from Austria, they also had to carry this paper and everything. That's really scary, right? When you feel like, I don't know.
Well,
you don't.
The thing is, you're in Germany, right?
Yeah.
You're in Germany. Well, I think, and Ulysse, tell me if I'm wrong, but like in Germany, the mindset is that if you say to people stay home, they kind of will, you know. There's this kind of like, what's the word?
You can trust the people, like they're responsible.
Exactly. In France, you tell someone stay home, he'll be like, okay, fine, I'll just go running and go drink in a coffee, you know, like they don't care. Like even I myself, if there weren't any restrictions, I would be like, dude, come on, I just wear a mask and stay away from people, but I can still go out. But
yeah, I know what.
Yeah, it's the source of all of the problems of our country is that very same.
It's the same in Chile. There's some people that still making parties and that stuff.
Yeah.
But I always thought, like, I don't know if I prefer to choose myself to stay at home than someone checking me on the street, you know. So I was thinking, like, I don't know, I hope everyone is staying at home because I don't want to have weird restrictions and feel like, I don't know, like I'm at prison and like the government is checking me all the time. I felt like really, I was hoping that we didn't get this restriction. But on the other hand, it's true, better than if everyone is just not doing it. I mean, I don't know. Difficult.
Yeah. For instance, here in London, we didn't really have a real lockdown. We could go out whenever we wanted, and you can see the rate of death. It's crazy here, so sometimes it's better to be a bit aware and stay home.
Well, it's a bit natural selection at work, right? That people go out. It's like they're probably gonna die, and so then, no, it's Darwinian theory. It's just
Yeah,
working.
but you can like give it to others and contaminate
Yeah,
others,
of
so
course.
that's like based true.
But we have no one from the US here, right? Because they have a real party over there.
They're really fucked, right? I mean, I feel really sorry for the people there.
Yeah,
to be honest.
my parents are over there, and it's crazy.
Wow. Where are they? In which city?
In Boston, so it's like the more reasonable people over there. But if you go more to the south, man,
Free
Florida.
it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I think the next thing we planned was like having another breakout session, but this time with a brainstorming and thinking a little bit about the future, but in smaller groups.
Mm-hmm.
And we were thinking, we have this one task, we posted also on the Miro board, or let's say something we all think or speculate about, like that you can just read it, that just something imaginary. And we split the group in 3 different ways of thinking. Like we have one dreamer group, one realist group, and one critic group. And depending on in which group you are, it's going to be decided randomly through the breakout rooms. You're going to work on that from this perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can either draw on the sticker, or you can just draw on the paper and take a picture of it, upload it to the Miro board, or you can just write some statements or even questions too.
Yeah, and we thought we're going to do that for 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes, and afterwards each group is going to present, and like we're going to see all the results or ideas every group made.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm
I've
sorry.
assigned. Oh yes, yes. Continue.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just I wanted to say I've assigned all of you into different categories: the dreamer, realist, or critic, and then you'll find out as soon as you join the rooms.
That works.
Do you have any question, Ollie?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't quite understand. Sometimes I'm a bit slow at understanding the things to do.
No worries, I think I didn't explain properly, to be honest. So, like we have this future perspective. It's the 3rd point on our Miro boards. It's on the upper or the lower right corner.
Yeah.
And then we thought we posted this little frame which says, imagine you would be able to participate in a array, oh man, I cannot pronounce this, but I'm sorry, of courses and projects at school all across the globe, depending on your interests. What could such a system look like, and what could we expect? And now you're going to be assigned to a random a breakout room with a specific way of thinking, like either dreamer, realist, or critic.
Okay.
And you're going to think about this sentence or the speculative future from this perspective.
Okay. And okay, wait. And so basically, we can just like choose what kind of project we want to dig into.
No, you're going to be assigned.
Okay, we're going to be assigned. Okay.
Can you define a bit? So realistic, I understand, but critic, if you could define a bit what you mean by that, and same for dreamer.
Maybe critic would be more in the Cartesian way of thinking, I think. Is it? You know what I mean? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe pas genre méga pied sur terre.
Well, isn't that realistic in a way?
Is it critical design in a way that you try to give your point of view on society and critical point of view? I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and dreamer will be completely free of the pragmatic issues or second thoughts. Just be crazy.
Yeah, the real is probably more like how it's gonna more realistic solutions. Or the critic is more like what would be not so good with such a system, right? Or what could be the downsides also. And I would say dreamer is more the positive side, like not thinking about any realistic solutions or critic solutions, like just go wild with your ideas and have some crazy thoughts, what could be a solution. And maybe then later also, like each group can like judge the other ideas from a standpoint. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready? I'm gonna open the rooms, yeah?
Let's go. Louisa again. Hello.
Super nice.
Will I have to join different rooms to do the recording?
Oh, Tianka. Poor girl. Okay, we thought about this maybe as a little brainstorming thing. It would be nice if we as a group could bring up some ideas or some thoughts, and not only everybody on their own. If you have never used Miro, maybe one person can write down some stuff and we can just talk about it a bit more. But yeah, we have the critic perspective.
Yes.
Did you guys find the slide already?
The slide?
In the mirror board.
The mirror board thing, I think, yes.
Yeah, I found it.
I have just a little issue with my connection. I'm coming in 2 minutes.
Just let me know if there's a lot of background noise and I'll switch to push to talk.
No, actually, it's very good.
Okay, sweet.
So how do we approach this idea?
I've actually already wrote down some notes. Just my personal opinion, because I was panicking a bit. Okay, so the question basically means, okay, no matter where we are in the world, we can join any kind of course in any kind of school, right? I think if that were to come true, I think in my opinion, the credit point system or the grading system, it all has to be in one specific standard. It can't all differentiate from different schools, because then the result would be a mess and then they would have to calculate everything all over again. So I guess that would be a bit of a downside.
But that works for most exchange programs, right? I think. Like they have conversion systems, kind of.
I think you'd also stop seeing like a career that you go and follow. You just hire a skill, you know, so that you actually get qualified for individual courses, and then an employer would look for that skill, and if you got that skill, you'd show up.
But if it's like an online course, wouldn't that mean that you lack like the skill for going to the field, like practical skills?
So it would depend if the online course. So would this replace university, or would this just be the like, because there are online learning systems.
There are, yeah. Like right now.
Yeah. So would this be like the replacement for the university system where you can just go and attend all the courses you want to online, or would it be?
I guess it would depend if it would be revolutionized or not.
Yeah.
If it's just like an option, a side option, then I would say no. But if it's like, if all universities start to adapt to this kind of system, then I think that would be a whole different case.
And that maybe the universities focus less on having lecture halls and libraries, that they actually focus on the equipment that they've got to facilitate the learning, you know what I mean? And that you sort of have a global network of universities that focus on, like, I think someone mentioned it earlier, how university is supposed to bring everyone to a level playing field. And if they could work like that, I don't know, maybe I'm
Would
thinking.
also, I think, lose a lot of cultural specificity of the different schools, you know, like the different approaches, because for now, if you go to school in France or in Germany or in Italy, everybody has kind of their own way from their cultural background of how they approach different problems. And so that's something I think that would be lost in a big way.
Yeah, sort of like the issues of having a global community.
Yeah. Can we imagine? Wait, can we imagine also that, for example, Facebook decides to put this in place, and so they have this whole VR thing where you have to go into this kind of dystopian VR world where you have to put a helmet on and everything to be able to participate, and everything becomes digital, and so you lose all human contact with like real physical contact. I don't know if you've experienced this, but so I had some courses with teachers on Zoom for the whole semester, and then I like randomly met them in the street, and what jumped out at me is that, whoa, they like exist in 3D. Like, who'd have thought? They like, you kind of forget about that. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's very different to meet someone for the first time in an online session than in real life. I feel like it's there's a bigger distance, not difference, a bigger distance between the people. I feel like you can't really get to know someone online. You never are really personal. There's always this barrier of the screen, and I don't really like it. If I would only study online, I think that would be super weird, and I would never feel like totally integrated into a group of fellow students.
Yeah, right. There's this whole idea of like a school community as well that disappears, like what we talked about before, of getting inspired from seeing what other people do, and things like that also disappear.
And dynamics are so different. For example,
oh, your microphone is lagging a bit.
I thought it was me.
so we have to wait, and so everything's slower.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I feel like when you're doing stuff online, sometimes the quality of the stuff you do is much worse or not that high. So maybe you're doing stuff and you're maybe giving your best, but I feel like it would never, like, you have never the same outcome than if you would really sit together with a group of people and do something physically. So I feel like maybe if stuff is only online, we could lose a little bit of the quality of our projects.
And I mean, I guess it depends, but is then all our deliverables also made to be seen on the screen? And how do you make things for the real physical world, or things, for example, if you design a whole experience that you have to go through, but with an installation and everything, that disappears because you have to present it in a 2D format on the screen, right?
And
So
you can sketch, in real time. So it's so hard to communicate to your team.
Yeah, true. And also if you do stuff with people from all over the world, to find a time when everyone is available because of the different time zones, it's also really hard. Because also for today, we thought about which time would make the most sense, because normally we have our meetings at 10 in the morning, but that wouldn't have worked out because 10 in the morning is for some of you guys maybe like middle of the night, and that would just make no sense. So it's very limited, the time slots when you can maybe have people having an actual good time of the day.
Out of context, but there's a guy in our board called Billy Huang, and he's not in the Zoom.
No, he also commented on someone's online must-haves, and he just wrote "Guten Abend."
Yeah, he did.
I don't know.
Why don't you join the Zoom?
Maybe he's too shy. Yeah, also talking about shy, some people are very quiet in front of a Zoom meeting. They just don't talk at all. because they are afraid. I feel like when we are sitting in a room together, it's a bit better. There are also shy people, of course, and they don't talk too much. But in a Zoom meeting, you have the opportunity to just stay quiet all the time, I feel like. And maybe for some people, that could be a big problem.
Personally though, I feel braver in Zoom meetings. Like if this was in real life, I'd be way more quieter, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because
maybe with
this connection.
Okay.
No, because I'm like, I don't know.
I could see that because in some way you lose the whole aspect of who's sitting in front of the class and who's in the back and who, you know, talks to a lot of other people around, and this whole idea of seeing how people interact. Like, you know, everybody's more on the same level in some way. So I think it can go both ways. Like it's very easy to be disengaged in the conversation and just not say anything, but yeah, it can go both ways. I think we can also talk about the surge in eye, like medical eye examination to be had because of being in a screen all day. Like personally, headaches have been getting very problematic.
Yeah, that's true.
Very.
Yeah, I have put this this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very hard issue. Like it happened for me for the first month of the confinement. Every day I had headaches, like terrible.
Yeah.
And
I
I think
actually got new glasses because of this, because in my old glasses I didn't have this blue light filter thing, and now that I have the new glasses, it's just way better. Before my eyes were so irritated the whole time, and now it's okay, but it's so annoying.
Yep.
I also had my glasses recently changed. I also have the blue filter too, and it has a slightly green color to it, right? So
Yeah.
now here, this is like white, but now it's whiter. If it makes any sense.
So what kind of design do you do? Have you found, like, do you work with colors? Does the blue light filter on your glasses change the colors that you use by any chance? Like colors that you're used to using, do they look different?
Not that bad, but you notice it. It's like
Really?
I do. It's like look at white. Look at something.
Yeah, when I look at something white, then yeah, okay, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Everything else is okay. It's just you can tell the difference. It's just a tiny bit. I'm gonna pick at the others. Whoa, the realists have a lot. Okay, guys, we can't lose.
What do you mean lose? We have more.
That's not a competition.
We're just gonna make them bigger.
You didn't tell us there was a
Yeah,
prize to get.
Let's make it bigger.
Oh, that's really big.
The dominance.
Broken out grid system now, though.
It's also an issue all the time that people have a bad internet connection.
Yeah.
And then they have problems to join, or they can't talk because no one's understanding what they say. That's super basic, but I think that's one of the biggest problems I've experienced in all the courses, because at one point of a course there was always someone you did not understand what they were saying because the internet was so bad.
Yeah. So normally we don't share our videos of ourselves because it just slows down our connection too much. So at most we'll have one screen being shared, and it'll be our computer screens that's shared, and we'll be talking about our work to our entire class, so that the connections don't have such a bad effect.
Yeah, but then I understand that, but if you do that, you're just always talking to a wall, and it's
This is
also
all the personal aspect, yeah.
I don't like that. But if you have to decide if you can understand the people or if you have to talk to a wall, then maybe it makes more sense to don't see anybody, but
Yeah.
it's also not, it's not the same, it's not nice.
Really.
Tianka, do you know how much time we have left?
Yes. 18, 9. 8.
8 minutes?
8 minutes. Sorry. I was also counting midway.
Maybe the language is also sometimes a bit of a barrier. Because even though most people talk English, we also have some people who are maybe just learning English or who are very bad or have a very hard to understand accent. And then it's sometimes really hard to understand what they are saying or to just communicate with each other. And then I also feel like when people feel like they are not understood by others, they just stop talking because they don't want to bother anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to me. And well, I can understand English, but last time I spoke in English was like 8 years ago. So my pronunciation really sucks. So really, in real life, I'm not that shy. So it has been a challenge today to me, but
Your
it's
English
okay.
is actually very good.
Yeah.
I had no problems
It's
understanding you.
Yeah, but for example, that the travels with Wi-Fi, sometimes I listen people not, I don't know how to say, like not the whole words, because the Wi-Fi is not okay. So
It breaks
so
up.
it's even harder.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe we can just steal some stuff from the others.
Or help me categorize them, because I think that'd be neater when we present it.
Health aspect.
I need to check on time.
So see, what is the difference in between our critic and the realistic negative?
Actually, to be honest,
Doesn't matter.
I don't really know. Maybe we just say things that are super negative when you look at them at first, but in real life it's just not that bad. And they just look for a good balance. But you're right, actually, it's not that big of a difference.
But I like to think that the dreamer is a positive, realist is like in the middle, and critic is like, is it really gonna work? Are you sure? What can we do to make it work? Things like that. So like plus, equal, and negative.
So I'm also adding how if you have this one globalized system, how do you get it separate from the interest of very big corporations? Like how do you keep it independent in some way, so that what people learn, what people do is not dictated, so that you to what they need, but you can keep it be more creative and more exploratory of the field of design instead of being just answering the needs of big corporations.
How would you write that down?
I'm working on it.
Okay. oh yeah, I'll read. That's so ethical. It's like we can have a long discussion on that.
Yeah, it's interesting, but because I think there's a lot of issues like that also so you can because you can imagine doing it in a way that's very democratic and where it's all the schools collaborating. But then if all of a sudden they start using the same tools and it's all in this it has to be centralized in some way, and then who owns that structure?
The people. Such a communist way.
I don't know. Should I make a personal heading? So like
Yeah, personal and then maybe general.
because there's like I don't know what like the disconnect from alienation and disconnection and sorry, I'm so bad at reading aloud. Disconnect and alienation from the reality when everything is on screen. Wouldn't that like fall more into like mental health and like personal health than like your eyes and your back and stuff like that? I don't know. Or should we just group it all in the same place?
We can put it in between, like health, personal, and then just like in the middle.
And then I will do personal.
How do you do an exchange program in this system?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think there will be an exchange program.
I think you
But
just
then you lose the whole
Meaning
experience.
of learning new cultures,
Yeah.
like right there.
I
Loss of
don't know
cultural
about you guys, but one of my main like reasons to go and study was to get away from home. So I don't know if that would still happen if you're doing it online. Like there's not
Right.
really a need to go and get an apartment. Like
Yeah.
you just do it at home.
Yeah.
That's a personal reason. You cannot go away from home.
Yeah. And start to just live your life.
Did anyone write that down already? So, or I will write it down.
Or I'll write general aspect and then just group everything there that has no group. Screen.
How long, Tianka?
That's a good question.
30 seconds.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Good to know that.
I can add another, I think we can add another 5 minutes.
Rain the admin
Because
hammer.
otherwise it'll be just done.
Maybe you can just go to the other groups really quick and ask them if they need more time.
I'll ask Slack.
Or ask in Slack.
Yeah. I lost the capability to English. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, then 5 minutes, under 5 minutes.
The other groups
So-
did so much easier. They were just like positive and negative.
Do you all know already if your next semester is going to be online or not?
I think they sent out the message now while we've been in this meeting, and I haven't had time to read it.
Oh, nice.
But it'll most likely be at home because we're spiking in number of cases.
That's shitty.
Yeah.
I think my semester is gonna be online.
Yeah, we are most likely going to have some stuff online and some stuff in the university. But I think the stuff you can do online is going to be online, but the stuff we can only do when we are physically there, it will be in the university, because we have like a lot of workshops and rooms where we can do something with wood and metal and all this stuff. So it's nice to have at least some stuff in real life.
Yeah, because Lisa and I were on the second semester, and I don't know about you, but I was really looking forward to using the workshops, like the labs, trying to get to know all the devices we have. It would have been so cool. And then online semester.
They think we are stealing their ideas.
No, Savannah's stealing our ideas. Look
The
at
other
her,
way around.
hovering over our board. No, she's in my college.
Oh.
How do I get rid of this now?
That's really, that's really funny.
They're lying.
The bigger.
Okay.
They had pictures. Oh, those are really nice. Ooh.
Nice.
It looks, and let me add a stupid picture.
It's a good way of illustration that people get the point really quickly.
1.5 minutes.
1.5. Ooh. Tianka, do you want to write this in Slack?
I have it. I have. Is there anything else? I can't think of anything else.
No, I think it's good like this. I'm just only curious about the Dreamer group, what they put in there. Okay.
F's in the chat. Okay.
No, where is it? It's moved now. Where's the grading gone? I'm sure it just moved.
Grading is at general aspects, or what do you mean?
It said general, yeah.
Yeah, who grades it? Oh, there we go. Just putting it on the wrong place.
Oh, this one you mean?
Okay.
I find this zooming and moving system very confusing.
Yes, I understand that.
Hey, guys, I have to close.
Okay,
Wait. Who's gonna present?
not me.
Not
I
it.
don't mind if nobody.
Yeah, your English is good. We can understand you. Then it should be you.
It's what you want. Doesn't matter.
Is everyone else ready?
Yes.
Should I just be a dictator and close it off?
Yeah.
All right. At least
But
you have 1 minute.
I can't stop you.
Wow, he just left.
So we leave.
We can leave.
We leave or not?
Catch you in the other room.
In 40. Anyway, see you.
Bye.
Wait.
It's taking so long, Tianka. I thought we were ready by now.
Louisa, this is recorded. Go leave. Please.
I'm sorry, I like this session. No, really. Until now, I think it's nice to talk to different people. It's fun.
Oh, the dreamer. They're all still in the room.
All right.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
Is everyone back? Yeah, everyone is back. Okay.
Did we lose a couple of people because we are less than before?
We did. That was after the first breakout.
Oops.
2 people ran away.
Yeah, I think there's a student from Shanghai, and right now it's like 11 p.m. So she left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I guess that makes sense.
So, which group? I mean, probably Dreamer starts, right? Makes sense. We are not really. We were in the middle of the discussion when Tianka was stopping our breakout session now. So we were not really organizing our. We were not really organizing our thoughts, which you can see on our board compared to the other boards.
You have
like,
arrows, we don't. We're good.
It's because we're dreamers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Really all over the place. But I guess like we have really interesting discussion about like or changing the whole educational system worldwide. Okay, my connection seems to be unstable. I try to pop up. I hope you can still hear me. But maybe, Candice, because you were bringing up that thought, maybe you can just like talk or tell everyone what we were just discussing about.
I'll explain that right, but we're basically talking about if we create this online international kind of platform, what happens if people can create their own course or their own degree, depending on the resources that they can pick from this this platform. So you're not stuck to the traditional ways of getting a degree or the traditional kind of mindset. So you're not just industrial designer or just a UI or UX designer or just a product designer. You can be whatever kind of designer or student you want to be based off what you want to learn. And that there'd be an accredited system so that even if you decide to pick different things or different skills you want to learn, you can still be accredited and get a job from that by creating a board of professionals or directors who are each an expert in that section. Yeah, I think that helps.
Sort of the idea is that you do all the courses that interest you, and they still have credits tied to them, like they would in an actual degree. You just do whatever you want. And then you sort of get like, instead of a piece of paper that says you can do a specific job, you get like a list of skills that you've learned. You could use those instead. And yeah, I think that kind of sums it up.
We also thought about how to recreate the real condition of being together in a classroom while being isolated. So thanks to various systems, so some sort of fake hologram system, or also new helmets. There are also some software which are already existing, like this one. I can't remember the name. I think it's which allows you to create spaces in classrooms. So if you want to speak closer with other people, like in a real classroom, you can move inside the software. It's quite interesting to use. Also, to create, to draw your ideas really quickly, you can use the software Tilt Brush by Google, for example, to recreate a fake 3D classroom and draw inside of it, like if you were in a real one, easily.
Yeah, basically the idea is to enhance the physical experience that we lack today.
I think the idea of having in the end the education accessible to anyone and everyone in a way is very interesting, because it's true that if it's entirely decentralized and you can participate from anywhere, well, you know, people in slums have smartphones and could in theory follow classes, and then you can imagine having people who would not otherwise have access to design as an education really kind of be able to participate in that. And what's interesting is that design can have direct positive impacts on these people's communities, like at a very local level. So that's very interesting, I think.
Yeah, we were also thinking about like creating a new kind of skill sets and new kind of future jobs by like people choosing, you know, courses by their interests and then combining them in a new interdisciplinary way. So you're just creating some combination no one has thought of before, or which isn't existing until then. So yeah, that could be really interesting, and yeah, change also like how we can work together and how different disciplines can work together.
Yeah, so interesting to the idea of decentralizing, because I think it would be nice to include students into setting their own curricula instead of following the structures by the school.
I think that it's also sort of a problem though with like a global education system. Something that I noticed, my sister, she started studying here. She's an actuarial scientist now, but she studied for most of her degree here and then went into the year in Holland, and she had to relearn the programming languages because they use different programming languages in Holland than they do to here in South Africa. So then it sort of becomes an issue which system becomes the global system, you know?
Yeah, true. Are you from the realist group?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice transition.
Nice transition.
Yeah, but that's true, because I think it's already difficult. I mean, when did they change the bachelor master system in Europe? I cannot remember. They changed the whole system to, like, I don't know. But anyways, that was already difficult, you know, to make it like the same in Europe, but to think about making it the same all over the world is, yeah, that's a challenge. And yeah, I agree.
But
if
then do you need...
any of you have ever heard about, oh, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. No, I was saying
just
that
pointing
maybe...
out that this system is
I'm...
Okay, who's first? Okay. So just one sentence, just to say that if you're curious, you should have a look on Open University, which is like courses online all over the world. Like, it's not exactly what we are saying, obviously, but it might be interesting to have a look at that, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's the same idea, I think, because we're talking about, okay, but then you need to harmonize the degrees, but
if you have everything accessible, all education like that, do you even need a degree, or can you just go in, pick out the skills that you need, and then go use them in whatever you do? And maybe that whole idea of having a degree, because a degree is just there to say you have the skills, but maybe there's like a different way that has to be invented for that international system where a degree doesn't make sense anymore, and then it's more about getting the skills for the different problems you face where you live. I don't know. It's something we talked about a little bit in the critic aspect.
So like a system of points or something. I mean, would you also have in your, I don't know what you discussed, but would you also have like a kind of proof that you
Yeah, maybe, but then, you know, you don't need to become, maybe you don't need industrial designers. You have like engineers who go in and learn a few skills, and then you have politicians who come in and learn a few things. And maybe in the same way, designers go into like political studies to learn a few things. And so this whole idea of being specialized in a certain domain, I think, could very much disappear in a way. And you would have to find a new way of knowing who knows what, but I think it could be invented.
In a way, it could also make things almost more specialized, that people are only doing the skills they want. They could have like could almost think of it as a less broad skill set.
Yeah, more specialized, but no two people have the same skill set in a way. So it's like specialized in being unspecialized, maybe.
And then another question that I would have then would be, how do you find out what courses you're sort of interested in? Because going out of high school, I had no clue what I wanted to be, you know, and I just sort of went with graphic design, and then that led me on to multimedia design. But if I wasn't doing a course at a university, I don't think I would have done half of the subjects that I've done now. And even though maybe I didn't enjoy them so much, I think that it's helped me like improve like the main subjects that I do. So it's, yeah.
Shall we move on to the realist?
Sure.
Yeah, so our group basically divide into two groups, positive and negative. And yeah, for example, for negative, I put on something like time zone and the grading system and the language barrier. And Owen?
Yeah, there were both like positive and negative points to this whole realistic thing. And actually what was interesting is that the negative points, as I said to Ulysse earlier, the negative points kind of went into the critical mindset. So this was quite interesting. But in terms of like positive points, like online courses and online cooperation can have a lot of positive ways. Like you can also get a different method approach, because like each school has its way of approaching design. You can also maybe have like a better framework, better methods of cooperation. Like as we can see on Miro right now, like there are some things we can't do in reality that you can do on Miro. So this is kind of interesting. There was like, yeah, I think in a more positive global way, it's interesting in terms of variety of methods, in terms of variety of culture and the different approaches. Like you can learn a lot from online cooperation, because when you stay in reality, I guess you can't be in contact with students that are from maybe, I don't know, I'm in France, you can get in contact with people from China. So even though you don't have the human contact, you have the software interface. So you can get a taste of the different cultures. So I don't know if other people from my group want to add something. Maybe...
I can add something.
Sure.
Another interesting point that we had is the energy. Because on the positive side, we are saving a lot of materials like paper or models. But on the other side, when everyone is on the internet, it actually used up a lot of energy and it's causing more pollution actually. So it's like a circle that we can never escape.
Yeah, in the negative points, we also had like the time zone. I think someone from our conference quit because of the time. I think, who was it? The person in Shanghai.
Yeah.
You know, like you have the time zone, so it kind of creates maybe problems in terms of organization. Like someone from France will not be in the same time zone as someone in Japan. I don't know, you know. So there's a problem of organization, maybe internet, Wi-Fi issues. As I said, it's interesting to have like different opinions and different approaches, but it can also create not conflicts, but situations where you might not understand where someone is going, you know? Like it has both positive and negative ways. So, and there was one point I really liked, I don't know who put it, was like Zoom accidents. Zoom accidents was a nice one. Yeah, I don't know, guys, if you have stuff to say, maybe.
Also with the time zone like issues, it's also the language barriers.
Yeah,
not
of course.
not everyone is going to be able to speak English or speak the language that you're most familiar with, so
of course
it could get difficult in that way to communicate with a large amount of people, where certain times it could actually slow the process down when you can't actually physically communicate your point through to the person to make them understand.
Yeah.
And also with that, with the Zoom accidents, also put down like video call anxiety. Like some people aren't you know, comfortable with like putting their videos on, or actually even speaking in a meeting like this in general. And now it's kind of like a upfront, I can see your name, you're right there, let's talk type of thing. So I think a lot of people feel like that there's someone put a lack of confidence. So that could be also another barrier or wall for communication. When you really need a lot of communication, you constantly gonna have to communicate online. Yeah.
We talked a bit about that whole shyness kind of thing in our group, and this idea that because we thought, okay, well, maybe when you're shy, you have less reasons to be engaged. And Tianka, I hope I'm saying your name right, accurately said that, well, for example, for her, it was like easier to talk on a Zoom meeting. And it's true, it can also be a positive, because you don't have the whole social pressure of, you know, kind of who's in front of the class and who knows a lot of people and is talking to a lot of people around, and you know, all that disappears, and in a way you're also on the same level playing field in a way. So it can kind of go both ways, I think.
There's a real paradox with this, because in a way, like maybe introverts can maybe express themselves better, but also in a way they can also choose like to turn off their cameras and just like, you know, I think it's interesting, the paradox.
But the fun thing also I experienced when I was really nervous about a presentation, because there was a crowd of people and a lot of people I didn't know, you can just trick yourself by not seeing them, right? So, I mean, in Zoom, you can just like let yourself see 3 people, and it seems like you're presenting to those 3 people. So I don't know, that's also an advantage I made for myself to be not so nervous. But yeah, it's true. Also, on the other hand, it feels like really you're the one who's presenting, all eyes on you, right? I mean, it's also, yeah, it's tricky.
I think moving on to the critic group, and I'll give it back to Owen. Thank you. Sorry. I meant you, Liz.
Yeah. So I think a lot of things have been said. We kind of organized it in different aspects of what it would mean to have this international kind of education system.
The first point we talked about was how do you make a globalized grading system where you know, everybody gets the same points, and the problem is even deeper than that, because in the end you do have someone who grades, and how does that person decide what is good and what is bad? Because in design there's a whole cultural element to what we do from country to country, and with that whole international system, not only would that cultural specificity disappear in a way, because you're pushed to work in a certain way and to do a certain type of design, but also the people who grade you might not understand what you mean through your project because they might not have the same cultural background as you. So that's a interesting point we thought of. We also talked about how, okay, well, we decentralize the system in a way, and maybe it's all these different universities collaborate. But you do need, in a way, certain ways to bring everyone together. And that asks the question of who owns those kind of knots of communication, and in the end, who owns the whole education system. Do you have something that's only through Zoom and Facebook and Google, and how do they influence the type of design you do? And can you keep an approach to education that keeps it interesting and exploratory, and lets it kind of do things that are not allowed in a way? So that's something kind of in the general aspects that were interesting. There's also, of course, some health aspects that it'd be being in front of your screen all day. You can imagine a lot of medical problems rising, like back problems, eye problems, headaches, things like that. You know, it's not moving at all during the day. And then there's, of course, some personal aspects that we talked about before, like the problem that there's no work-life balance, that both of them kind of mix together. What becomes of exchange programs if you're always working internationally, like if you can never move abroad to work in a different place? And also we talked about how some people decide to go to university to get away from their family and try to experience new things, and also as a tool to change their maybe the context in which they live. And that's also something that you could imagine disappear in a good way, because then you can work from rural places, but also in a bad way, because then you're stuck where you are. About the type of work, of course, we touched on this a bit. It's easy to be disengaged in the work. It's too anonymous. You don't necessarily know the people, and the quality of the interaction is definitely at a loss. And of course, the Dreamer group talked about VR and ways to collaborate in this way, but that does dictate the type of deliverable you're going to do. It's always going to be adapted to be experienced on the web or through VR. It's definitely less free in that way. And what we talked about a bit already is, do careers already exist, or are we now just acquiring a certain skill set that some companies are looking for, and you don't really need a degree anymore? That does have some negative impacts, we thought. Yeah, so that's about it. Technical aspects, let me see. The problem with shy people, we talked about this. Language barriers, of course. Final things, sketch on paper. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people of my group have see things we didn't really talk about yet on here. Problem of access to computer issues, internet. You know, if all of a sudden everybody works online all the time, I mean, you did see Netflix having to lower the quality of the videos. Well, if all of a sudden you can't video call, things like that, because it's too busy, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's about it, I think. You can also imagine, how do you finance such a system? You know, because now we have a system of public schools and private schools, and people who pay for their education and people who don't. Does it mean that all of a sudden everybody pays the same, or do some people have to pay more for the same type of education as others? yeah, it's questions that have to be answered, but that make it very complicated. I don't know if anyone from my group has things to add.
No, you summed it up nice.
Okay.
I found really interesting what you said in the beginning, like about the diversity of teams through the international collaboration, which is helping to make design more equal or accessible to everyone. That's a cool point. I would say I haven't thought about that, but of course, through more cultural backgrounds and more diversity in teams, we also can make sure that our designs are more, equal in a way, which is really, I like that point. It's really cool.
Yeah, but it does have positive and negative, right? Because then you lose what makes German design different than French design, or then like Italian or like South American design. All of a sudden, we're all learning this, like the same approach to design, and so a lot of that can disappear.
But like from a visual standpoint, or because like if you of course from a visual standpoint I get your point, but from a UX standpoint that would be the main goal, right?
Well, from use, you know, from people in Europe live differently than people in Japan, and depending on who builds the program, maybe there are things about how people live, the values that people bring to objects or to experiences that disappears or that changes. And that's I had discussions about people even in my school, because there's, you know, in France we're very attached to the idea of doing our courses in French, like our university is in French, and for like I push it to move more towards English. But a lot of people say that not only is it difficult for people to talk, but changing the language changes our cultural reference, like how we see the world in a way. And you can ask. I'm trying to find like an example, but
actually,
like
if
for
I can
example,
just
no, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
No, for example, commuting. In the US, it's car. You're going everywhere you're going to go, you're going to do car. In Europe, we have a bigger kind of public transportation system. So if we think of, okay, how are people going to commute in the future? In Europe, we're going to have this approach of, well, we have to develop new systems of public transportation that are smarter, things like that. And in the US, they're just going to say self-driving car. And then if you have an international system, well, that cultural experience of what makes a good, better transportation system is different, because in Europe, it's going to be about building a better system. In the US, it's going to be about having this car that you can have and that drives itself. And it's maybe, I don't know if you see kind of the difference, but it's the only example I can think of now.
Actually, just adding up on what you're just saying, like in our course with Ha, we were lucky to be with students from all around the world for 2 years. And that was super great, because it creates like as you were saying, a shared space and like an agonistic space. And you're like confronting your ideas and your project to all of these different cultures and cultural backgrounds and way of seeing things. And like, for instance, for my project, I did something related to cultural change, and that was super helpful to be able to discuss with other people from all around the world, because I was really shocked when I realized we are so different on different things. And I mean, of course you know it, but then when you live it, when you get to live it, your design changes, obviously. So yeah, I totally agree on that.
Yeah, so it's just a question of who sponsors the system. If it's a Google making the system, right, they're going to want a certain type of projects to get out of the system. And it's just about making sure everybody can bring what they have to bring. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most powerful benefit, I think, of a globalized education system.
So wrapping up these 3 boards, because it's pretty late, guys. I just want to know, would you like would you like more online semesters, or are you looking forward to everything going back to more or less normal? the new normal?
I think both would be good, because like for myself, when I have too much real courses, I kind of get sick of them. And when I have too much online courses, I get sick of them as well. So I think it's about finding the right balance. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on the balance, but I would say nothing can be better than physical attendance, because you get to talk to people, to share your ideas, confront opinions, and I think it's the best way in the field of design. But if we don't have a choice, obviously.
Yeah.
For me,
No,
for me, it should depend on the courses. Like, for example, for the mockup, obviously I cannot do it at home. But if I have rendering to do, it will be way more practical to do them on my computer, because it is way more powerful than my portable one that I bring at school. So yeah, I think it depends on the courses.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah,
agree
exactly.
with that. Like, oh, sorry, Yuska.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wanted just to add the idea of the transport issue, because I think that online courses are good for, as said Sasha, some specific courses. For example, for the mockup, it's not possible, but it's better to don't always transport from home to the school every time, even if it's only a course that you can do online. So yeah, the balance is a good solution.
Yeah, and I think, so I just put hybrid, but in a way, from what we said previously, I think if you're going to do online courses, and maybe differently than we did now because you're planning to do them online, have it be adapted and have it add something. The fact that it's online, maybe like this whole conversation is about how, you know, making it more international. And if you're going to do a course online, why not try to incorporate elements of that, to have it hybrid in that way, so that it's not just the same course but online, but you can really add different elements to it.
Yeah, I think like also what we had in mind first, like when we were thinking, okay, what happens after this meeting, and that brings me a little bit to like now wrapping up a little bit, because we thought, wouldn't it be nice if also like we of course could be connected or stay connected after this meeting, and we maybe even meet again, but also like use our Miro board to post interesting things we experience at our university, and like could be one step towards to this hybrid system, right? That we could like post an interesting talk at our university, which is going to be in English, and you guys can see it and decide yourself if you want to attend, or also see that, so we can just share our, like, I don't know, things, input more or less between our universities, just to test it. Maybe that could be also something cool as an outcome from our perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and created a Twitter account, Designed by Students 2020, as our social platform. But we would love to hand it over to any of you who would like to host our future events, where we can all meet each other again. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you again.
Thank you for organizing it.
Yeah, thank you. It was really nice that so many of you came. And if, yeah, as Jingling said, if any of you, we can communicate over Twitter or Instagram, we can put our maybe information on the Miro board, on this, maybe on this yellow frame, right? I think that was the idea. So you can just put our information there and stay in contact, and even, yeah, maybe there's going to be a next meeting.
I know at NC, we already talked with some teacher about this idea of, okay, if next semester some courses have to be online, can we almost like post it on Facebook for people to join? Or can we like get people from outside to join like a course? Maybe, you know, even high school students who don't know what industrial design is, well, maybe it's a way for them to kind of learn about the study and what we do. And I mean, if this conversation comes again with my teachers, I can definitely let you know how that goes, because it could be interesting.
Yeah, totally. It would be really nice.
Okay.
Whoa, Sasha has 3 different accounts.
I can add description if you want.
Thank you for organizing this meeting. It was fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
for taking.
and let us know what you do with this now. If you yeah, and if you have different, if you want to do it again, I'd be happy to join.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I just want to say it would be awesome. And also, if you guys feel like you maybe next semester or you have the time to organize it, we would love to pass it on. We can still use the same board or like continue our things, you know, on the same board. We can give you the Twitter account, whatever, you know, we can just share everything we made and then like pass it on also. That would be also super cool from our perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, what I wanted to add is that like if any of you guys have like projects and you're maybe struggling with them, or you just need like a different opinion, I think it could be nice to share actually our projects and discuss about them, because we all know that at some point in our project we get stuck and kind of narrow-minded, you know, and I think it could be nice if we got different opinions, like, you know, from different schools, different methods. I think it could be really enriching.
That's a cool idea. Maybe we can even have a space on the board, like a review space or something where you can post stuff. Yeah,
Like
cool.
a global studio.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And see you some other time, I hope.
Would be nice.
Have some rest.
Good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.